steam, it's time to break one for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
And a pleasant good morning to you from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam Show for Monday, October 21st. I've been on the hunt for some sports here on Monday. What are we going to do? We've got Monday Night Football, at least, to save the day here, and a hockey game to talk about. That's about it. So I'm glad you guys have stopped by. We've got 10 people in the chat. I'm sure some more will come along, but maybe not many more today on our slow day. So, well, I joked last night on one of the shows. I like sometimes when there's a slow day and I can go back to bed. Maybe I'll catch some Z's here on a Monday and rest up for the big week because we've got a big week of NBA starting tomorrow with a couple of games and that crazy NHL schedule where every game starts a few minutes later than the next game. But that's tomorrow. And, of course, Wednesday, a bigger NBA card. We got a big week of football, of course. But today we got 2 games. We got 3 games. And that's it. So maybe we'll chat a little bit, chat about yesterday's games, kind of be cordial in the chat here, just see what's going on. So thank you for joining me here today on the Morning Steam. At least my Chargers are playing tonight, even if they got no wide receivers. Hopefully they'll find a way to move the ball down the field with J.K. Dobbins and maybe a few guys that can run some routes. But how about last night's game? Talking baseball and football, but maybe with baseball, right? With the World Series teams being set now, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Yeah, did they tank those 2 games that they fell behind and maybe they didn't have the right pitching, the right combos just so that they could be in comfortable position for the next game? We get perfect here, you guys. Thank you. Could it be that the Dodgers tank those 2 losses a little bit just to get in the best position because their pitching really has been a little bit in shambles here, but they're the favorite to win the World Series at minus $1.30, $1.25 right now in most of the books to win over the New York Yankees. Yeah, the first time these teams have met, believe it or not, since 1981. I think I've picked them every year, Dodgers, Yankees, for the last I don't know. How many years is that? 40 years? So 35, 40 years. So they finally get their Dodgers, Yankees, and should be exciting with the 250 home run hitters squaring off the 2 MVPs, and we'll get a chance to see them in 4 days. So, look, that's what we didn't know the Dodgers. Everybody says, why do we have to wait 4 days? But, we didn't know the Dodgers and Mets. They could have had another game. They could have had a 7th game. So you got to kind of plan it. They actually did make it flexible in case there was a couple of sweeps. They were ready to move a few things in the postseason, but not the World Series. Can't necessarily do that. So it was a good outcome for Major League Baseball to have the West Coast and the East Coast going at it. I don't know if it was the best for the fans or not, but at least we'll get a chance to see the 2 great stars. And how did you guys do in the playoffs. And of course, yesterday with NFL Sunday, a wild and woolly day to say the least. We saw the big game last night, certainly with the Pittsburgh Steelers and Russell Wilson winning the game anyway at quarterback. Look, it didn't have to be perfect. Maybe the Jets weren't so perfect, right? There's a lot of issues there, certainly with the New York Jets. I mean, you can kind of point to a few things really with the Jets currently that really don't have much to do with even Aaron Rodgers. Maybe the picks are a little bit of a problem here, so to speak, but how come the defense is broken all of a sudden? Oh, about all of a sudden, but uh, doesn't look like the same Jets defense as last year, or maybe even over the first couple of weeks. Did you cut some guys? You cut your coach? The Pittsburgh Steelers have had 3 head coaches in, I don't know, what, 50 years. The Jets just changed coaches last week, and everybody wanted to pile in on the Jets, thinking they'd solved all their problems with just one coaching change and bring in an aging wide receiver here. I don't want to say maybe he is in this prime, but I don't know. Didn't look like the best wide receiver out there on the team, I don't think necessarily. But you got the other wide receiver, the previous top wide receiver, not hanging onto the ball, bouncing off his chest into the other team's hands. The opportunistic Steelers with the win last night. How'd you guys do in football yesterday? The big rematch of the Super Bowl. The Chiefs over the 49ers go to 6-0. The last undefeated team left now is the Chiefs. Ho, ho, hello. They ran the ball all over the Chiefs, ran the ball all over the 49ers. How about that? And the Chiefs, as a dog again here on the road with close spread. That's about their territory right now. San Francisco, 2 of 11 on third down. They had a few issues certainly in the game. Probably not at the perfect strength, but we talk about what the strengths of the Chiefs are compared to the 49ers, and I think they were exploited right there. The Chiefs have now won 5 in a row against the Niners, including 2 Super Bowl games. So that's one they're just going to have to get over the hump moving forward. Who's to say that's not going to be the Super Bowl once again? Yeah, we got a few other teams out there. They're going to have some say, but it does feel like maybe those two could still evolve again. But you never know in the crazy NFL, because how about the Vikings and the Lions? The Lions, they didn't look very good at the beginning of the game. They couldn't even move the ball, but all it took was warming up a little bit. St. Brown, big game, 8 receptions. We mentioned him a little bit on the previews yesterday. Detroit, all of a sudden, they scored touchdowns on half their drives in the last 3 games right now. They did need the game-winning field goal with 19 seconds left in a wild one. Minnesota, they can't beat. It seems like teams at home, or they can't cover spreads anyways at home within the division. And a wild one there. Probably should have saw that one coming on and over as I tried to pitch it as an under with a premium play. But we did have some winners here on the show yesterday with the Seahawks and the Falcons game to go under the early game. We have the total right, but obviously the Patriots couldn't keep it going after I got all excited with that early start. The Patriots pretty bad here, but the Jaguars, they're nothing special either for sure. We had a premium pick winner, Bengals and Browns game to go under. Bummer news, no matter what you say about the about the quarterbacking situation right now in Cleveland, right? Watson gets hurt. That was a real bummer when you see that that type of injury. We see it every time now, especially with the cameras, right? That thing snaps and you're done. But they bring in DTR. Where's Jameis Winston and all that? But he'll be back. Jameis Winston, pardon me. Jameis Winston will be back soon enough to lead this team. It feels like moving forward. I don't know if that's going to help the Browns necessarily, but against the Bengals yesterday certainly was not the best game there. Bengals won it 21-14. They ran the opening kickoff back and probably would have been even uglier if it wasn't for that play that kind of move them to the lead early. Browns also had DTR knocked out of that game. So, all right, a few other games here that we were able to score with yesterday. We had the Colts here on the show over the Dolphins yesterday. We also had the Eagles and the Giants game to go under. And also last night, premium pick winner with the Jets and the Steelers. We did have the under in that Chiefs and Niners game. All right, let's take a look and say who is in the chat with me today and willing to come by and say hi. M. Looks was here. Thomas was here first, of course. He's my right-hand man. Good morning to everyone here. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, Sports Money, here on YouTube, the fastest growing sports betting channel on YouTube. And we had great time yesterday here on the show with you guys, and get ready for a big week of action. Here's M. Looks. He's all in favor of the Dodgers. Matt D is here this morning talking about those dogs. Our Thompson, hello. Robert McCormick, hello and thank you. Justin McKelvey, it's so good to have you guys here on a day where we don't have much going, and I don't feel like I'm quite. Hey, we're gonna sleep in. That's the deal. Slept late, and maybe we don't have the right content today with any games to talk about, so we're just left kind of grasping at some of the action from yesterday. Gorky is here. He's got his picks for tonight. It looks like Ravens and Chargers. Hope my Chargers can do it. I'm going to pick them if you want to grab my pick and go. I guess, and now I'm going to take them mostly because of the spot for the team, but they do have some big time problems tonight. Do the Chargers? I don't know if they have any receivers to catch the ball, and you're supposed to be a passing team with a quarterback who, gets it done through the air. But they'll get a few guys out there. We'll talk about them here today. And yeah, our Tom's talking about the Niners not quite looking adept there yesterday. Matt talking about how the Jets are approaching it here. That's it, right? They fired a guy who maybe he wasn't doing things like they needed, but maybe the defense was a little bit better too. Joe Alvarado's here as well. And who else can I say hi to? And we'll cover a few more games. Here's Dave here today. Thank you, Dave, for being here as well. Jermaine today is here. Calvin Washington. Philly Eagle Flyer joining us today. And Morgan Spooner as well here on the Morning Steam. All right. Let's take a look now maybe at a few more of the games from Sunday that I can remember anyway. I've got a few notes here on the contest, but the Packers and Texans, that was certainly an exciting one yesterday with the Packers winning it 24-22. Green Bay drove down, got that 45-yard field goal for the win. They did a good job. They brought in the right kicker. Sometimes, I don't know, what do we get caught up in? That seems like a good situation to bring an experienced kicker like that in. They got rid of the rookie and were able to win it with a pair of back-to-back kicks. One didn't count and still got it done. Yesterday, Packers win. Texans led that game 19-14, high-level game. I thought yesterday Packers were -3 in turnovers in that game. But, man, Green Bay in the second half continues to do it. We talk about Jordan Love, right? Everybody wanted to bury this guy with maybe a bad game or two, or maybe it was a game and a half. And they want to say, oh, man, you waste all this time on this guy. And, well, all of a sudden, Jordan Love continues to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league, game in and game out here. And Stroud had, certainly one of his roughest games that we've seen from him. Texas still great as a road dog there because they were able to get that money yesterday by by half a point or so. It was the Texans that covered the spread in that game against the Packers. The Eagles all over the Giants. Talk about Barkley and all the game he had, 176 yards rushing. in the Meadowlands, and the fans, they were cheering, they were booing. Didn't matter. The Eagles crushed the Giants 28-3. Giants have gone under in 6 of their 7 games so far this season. The Giants continue to dominate, or the Eagles continue to dominate the Giants, winning 14 of the last 17 meetings between the two teams. The Giants were good at one thing, punting, but that's about it yesterday, as the Giants spent most of the time on their back talking about Danny Dimes in the game. Bills rocked the Titans 34-10 after the Titans had a 10-0 lead. I thought I was going to have a spread winner there. I was on the Titans, but no, just a bet anyway. We didn't give it out. And the good thing is the Titans got rocked after that. Tennessee led 10-7. Bills win 34-10 in yesterday's game. And Titans having all sorts of problems with special teams as well. Also, Seahawks beat the Falcons 34-14. Seahawks, look, that one was a little bit close early, but nonetheless, Seahawks got a touchdown pass last seconds of the first half, take a 17-7 lead, and went on to crush Colts over the Dolphins 16-10 with Richardson just 10 of 24 passing, 129 yards, and did rush for over 50 yards. So they were able to get it done. That was one where I was on an island for sure against you guys. And Team Consensus had the Dolphins, but I don't think anybody was going to be right in that game. That was a bad game between two pretty bad teams here right now. But Tua Tagovailoa, he is closer to moving back into the starting lineup here. Maybe another week or two, maybe not. Maybe next week with a concussion. You just wonder how one guy needs 5 weeks to get back from a concussion, and the other guy's ready to go back after just a couple of plays. So don't know how these concussions work anymore. But Indy, pretty hot right now. They've gone 1-4 out of their last 5 games, and the Colts are 4-1 against the spread as a home favorite with Steichen as coach. So Dolphins have gone under their team total in all 6 games this season with that bad offense. Commanders rocked the Panthers yesterday 40-7. They continue to roll, but Daniels was injured in the game. He left with the ribs, injury to his ribs. Maybe they were ahead. Maybe he could have come back, put a flak jacket on or something. We'll see moving forward. If Daniels is out for any extended period of time, ribs usually you can work with, even with the quarterbacks famously putting on the rib protection and going out there. Daniels needs all of his mobility and all of his speed, but may have to get a little bit of protection. They had a pick 6 in the game. Commanders have won and covered 5 of their last 6 games, and seems like they score on practically every drive. Rams over the Raiders. I didn't see this one right at all. I think the public was pretty much right. This would be an ugly game. I thought the Raiders would just continue to throw the ball, but O'Connell hurt his thumb. And then Minshew had to come in and was 15 of 34. So my plans did get a little bit ruined there because I think Aiden O'Connell certainly right now for me a little bit better than Gardner Minshew, and the Rams are able to get the win 20-15. And Brock Bowers, we talked about him, though, yesterday on the show, right? He did have a pretty big day, 10 receptions for 93 yards. All right, gang, that's all of what you guys want to say. Say it now because this show is going to be over quick. A few more comments from you guys here. And let's see who I've got joining me also. Gorky talking about some of the action there yesterday. Thomas says it was kind of an up and down day there, certainly. And let's see who else. Anybody else joining me here? And if not, we'll just get rolling. Gerardo's here as well. Got a little bit of a domestic football action here today with this card. We've got EPL game between Palace and Forest today. Probably maybe I get some soccer picks out today. I'll be looking for something to do for a little bit until I take a nap. Also, game in Italy, game in Spain today. Featured games, Monday Night Football, European style, here in about 5 or 6 hours. All right, Matt. Let's see. John Shaw, hello. Thank you for coming by today. And just good conversation from you guys in the chat. Super true story. Never bet on the Raiders. That's a super true story if I ever heard one. All right, let's get rolling here. I'll just do my promotion too. Don't forget, check me out over at Winnable. I won't have a lot today. I'll probably have 3 premium picks, though, maybe one on every game. Check me out over at winnable.com where you can get my premium picks. I'm going to give you some winners here, hopefully, in the next couple of minutes. Hopefully, gave you enough winners yesterday. The hockey, though, that was a rough one for me anyway, but we did give out some winners here on the show with the Winnipeg Jets yesterday, winner here on the show. And also, what else? The Sharks, did that end up being a 1-goal game? I don't even remember yesterday's action there in the NHL. It was all about the NFL and Major League Baseball yesterday. Oh, did I miss the WNBA? We'll talk about it when I come back on the air here. Got to talk about the WNBA finals. Anyways, check me out over at Winnable. Send out my best plays over there and give out some free winners here. And then I have maybe a little bit stronger selections with my free subscription over at Winnable. Trying to send out some plays every day, my best plays that I don't use here on the show. And then my absolute best plays I put behind a little bit of a paywall here. I used to charge $25, $35, $45 for a package of plays. That was good business over at the other site. But this way I can share my plays with more people. Really, you're following my action here. Like to give you guaranteed winners every time if we could, but I'm a high volume player and I just want you to know who I'm on when you get ready to bet. You can kind of match it up against what you have or just roll with me every time. I don't mind. Check me out over at winnable.com/Ramon to get my plays. Comes up on your phone. It's powered by Stripe with the e-commerce, and that's a pretty powerful solution that's used by many of the best online sellers, not just in this game, but overall in general with e-commerce shopping. So use the promo code STEAM to save 20% off all those premium pick packages of mine. I have them every day, so why not join me over there at Winnable? All right, let's bring it back now. Bring me back and get rolling on the show. A few more comments, and I'm just, trying to bide my time here today with the show. Oh no, Justin lost his phone at the game at the Steeler game last night. Gosh, darn it. Hope that's not what you're saying, but I think it is. Morgan's on the Bucks here today, it looks like. And a few others, let's see here. And Philly Eagle Flyer talking a little action here in the game today. In the Valencia game against Las Palmas. All right. And also there he's got, I think he had one in every game there. He had a pick in every game. Thank you, Philly Eagle Flyer. All right. I guess I'm ready. I can't keep you guys just hanging around because I need friends. Let's take a look at some of the action here for tonight. And start with the NFL. I guess the games, they feel like they're kind of backwards, right? Because the best game starts at 8:15, and that's between the Ravens and the Buccaneers here today, with the Ravens favored here on the road by 3.5 over the Buccaneers. Well, all right. Guess the Ravens are Super Bowl bound already. That's a pretty big number. Anybody check on the Buccaneers lately? They're a pretty darn good team, it feels like to me. Sure, the Ravens are top-notch as well. We know how good they can be. Buccaneers do play some pretty good run defense, so I would think today, just maybe, we get a lot of Jackson moving and shaking, maybe doing a little passing as well, but could be tough for Derrick Henry and the crew. They'll keep pounding it, but the Buccaneers do play probably a top 10 brand of run defense, certainly this season so far in the NFL, so that's to balance it out. To me, I don't know if I like the matchups that much for the wide receivers of the Ravens either coming into this game. I just don't like Baker Mayfield still getting it done, man. He's looking like one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Now, I'm sure that Lamar Jackson will also look like one of the best quarterbacks in the league here tonight. But man, to lay these points on the road on Monday Night Football seems like a pretty tough situation here. The Bucks have been playing great. They're 4-2. They've scored big time points in the last 3 games. Now they are going up against a good defense. Certainly, I get that. But I would think that the matchup is okay for the Buccaneers passing, especially for Baker, especially for Godwin. Evans might be a little bit neutral on his matchup against the Ravens D. They do pretty good against WR1s, but still, I think the Buccaneers at home here, still a big game. Both teams coming in with a 4-2 record. The Buccaneers are probably the most overlooked of all the teams. It feels like week in and week out with their quality here. So, start to get some of your comments here on the game. Baltimore certainly in a pretty good role for them. Road favorites, they're 9-14, 9-4, last 13 as a road favorite. Ravens always get off to a pretty solid start. They've outscored their opponents so far, 92-55 in the first half of the games. Ravens come in hot as well. They've won and covered 4 straight. They've been averaging, they've scored, let's see here, down the line, they scored 28, 35, 41, 30 points, but the Bucks have done well as well, scoring 30, 51, and 30 points in their last 3 games, and they are off to great starts in each game too, averaging 24 points per game in the first half over the last 3 games. So Tampa Bay been doing pretty well, scored 13 touchdowns on their last 32 drives. That's a decent percentage here. Tampa Bay just 2-4 their last 6 tries as a home underdog. Ravens have really come in here and beat up the Buccaneers over the last several meetings, but again, this is a non-conference game, so they don't meet really too often. They have gone under in 5 of their last 7 meetings. So we know that the Ravens are incredible against the NFC with Jackson for whatever reason. There might be a little bit to the trend of Jackson's incredible run against NFC teams of 22-2 or 22-1, I think, whatever it is, that because of the nature of non-conference games, it might be that the way the Ravens prep overall, maybe it doesn't matter as much who their opponent is, and then the other team, because there is a certain less emphasis, I would say, on a non-division game. It's still a non-conference game. Let's get your comments here in the game. All right. Matt likes the over here in this one. Look at this. I forgot to talk about the WNBA still. We'll have time, I think, at the end. I know one thing. There's an APB out because that shit was stolen. That's what the coach said. That's what Cheryl Reeves said. I didn't say that. That's what she said about the title last night. She said that shit was stolen. All right. Robert McCormick likes the BTTS and the EPL match today. And Calvin's going to take the Ravens here and lay it on the road. Ravens money line and over here, it looks like, for Thomas. A lot of Ravens action here, it feels like. Henry anytime touchdown. Lamar over 42 yards just to roll these Bucks. Ravens Bucks over here today. All right. See here. Dabby in the chat. Get ready for his show. Get ready for their show over there. I'll be done before then for sure. I'll hang over there, hang out with the guys and participate a little bit, hopefully, in the chat. Justin likes the Buccaneers team total over. And let's see here. Nicholas is here today. He likes the under in this one at 50. Monday night, Sunday night they're now 0-7 to the under on Sunday night football. Monday night has been a little bit of a different experience so far. There have been a few overs here on Monday night, but Sunday night, man, pretty much a dead under so far. Well, no, yesterday. Well, what can we say? Yesterday, yesterday's game notwithstanding, because look, it just got a little hectic there at the end and did go over yesterday. So I take that back. 6-1 now with that over last night. Didn't feel like an over there for a while with those two teams. So, all right, any more here on the game with the Bucks? Morgan says the Bucks' biggest weakness is that secondary. I think Zay Flowers has a modest matchup here. I think Zay Flowers can get right around his team totals here, maybe over his team totals. But I think beyond that, I'm going to give the Buccaneers a chance to shut down the Rashad Bateman maybe a little bit. And, of course, Aguilar been very inconsistent so far. All right, and let's see here. What else? Baltimore money line here for Thomas. I think he said that. Been rolling in some steam here so far, and some tennis matches coming in. I'm watching a little bit of tennis here today. It was a light schedule. Lamar over 285 combined too. Woo Riza, thank you for being here as always. Sports money here today. Hello to the boss. Talking about that WNBA, and they always came back, didn't they? They always came back. The underdogs always came back to make it a close cover. Yet last night's game, what can we say? Great job by the Liberty and Jonquel Jones, MVP. But what a finish! What a bizarre finish as well. The foul, was it a foul? Stewie missed those first free throws, got a second chance on the controversial foul, made the free throws, and they were able to pull away a little bit. Probably got the money for most of the backers here yesterday. I did give out the Liberty. Wasn't comfortable at all, but we did have our premium pick in the WNBA game on the under. Probably would have had to go a second overtime to even flirt with the total. It felt like here. That was a solid under, solid premium pick. That's for sure. All right. Riza says ladder up with Mark Andrews here tonight. I kind of agree with that, man. The Buccaneers you talk about the wide. I think the Buccaneers have a better chance to defend against the Ravens wide receivers than they do against the combination of Andrews and Likely. Don't forget. So hopefully, Riza, that number. I know you have the ladder, man, but. And again, maybe it could be all tight end work, it feels like to me, and maybe a little Zay Flowers mixed in. I like the tight ends tonight here for Baltimore. And hey, we were hot with the players, I thought, yesterday we mentioned on the show. Might have to kind of keep going with that a little bit. We weren't mentioning props necessarily, but man, the players that we mentioned on the show yesterday had big games. It felt like the ones we were saying, hey, these are the players that I'm liking. And today, I think out of this lineup for the Ravens, I think the two that I would gravitate to would be Likely and Mark Andrews, of course, Mark Andrews. Jermaine says, are you sure about Andrews doing that? Yeah, that was the only question I had. I don't know. I'm not down on Andrews at all. In fact, he's started to step it up a little bit after a very slow start. It felt like to the season, but last game was his best with the 3 receptions for 66 yards and a touchdown finally for Mark Andrews. So I think the balance, though, between those two does make it a little bit tricky on their props here today. Meanwhile, for the Buccaneers, I like Godwin probably as my favorite over Evans again today. And so I like both quarterbacks actually to maybe get their totals. So maybe it will be an over here, but I'm down on the Baltimore running game, not in general. Never going to be down on Derrick Henry. I think the Buccaneers can keep Henry maybe under his rushing numbers here today. And you got a guy, don't forget, you got a decent guy in Hill to kind of, also carry the ball that it seems like they're using a little bit here. Not that you're ever going to take it away from Henry. So, but Justice Hill, catching the ball out of the backfield more so. But remember, he did have that big game against Buffalo. So Hill gets certainly a little work. All right. Is that it for this one, you guys? I'm looking down here, just trying to take in a few more plays from you guys and see what we got. Thomas says, sounds like I'm on Tampa. I guess I got to make a pick. I'm on Tampa Bay here, plus the points today against the Ravens on the road. This indicates, the Buccaneers are, three straight times division champions of the NFC set. We always forget. It feels like how good this team is, how solid they are week in and week out. We know the Ravens are great. Super Bowl contender here. All right, Dixie's here today, and I'm feeling it with Dixie. I ain't just whistling, Dixie. That's for sure. Hi, Dixie. Got the Golden Knights logo. Appreciate it. And all right, see who else. Anybody else on this game? I feel like I'm letting you guys down without any games. It feels like. And there's Londo. Yeah, you know what? It's tough. I'm not going to make any excuses for what Coach did. What he did was, wrong. It was very unprofessional and not something, you just got to be more selective. He's a comedian, though, kind of in a way, right? And just made some bad choices, and he's out of the game to a certain extent right now because of those choices. He probably could do a lot better job than some of these other guys. All right. Rizza had that under as well. And Thomas didn't, he said he didn't like, let's see, I never liked to be with Gruden. I think that's what he's saying there. He didn't like Gruden there. Gruden was dumb. Yep, just made a dumb decision. He obviously knows his football. I think we all can agree with that. Maybe not. Maybe you guys are down a little bit on him. All right. Lonzo says Gruden picked it right with the spread. Calvin, not like you guys are not on Gruden like I am a little bit. Okay, here we go with some more picks. Dixie said Bucks first half money line, but Ravens full game money line. Thank you to Dixie. All right, Rizzo's ready for that NBA to start. I'll move on to the next game. I'm just looking for a few more plays here in the chat from you guys, but I think it's over here. Calvin says Ravens smash spot, and they'll cover and get it to go over. So it looks like I might be the only one here with Tampa Bay. But man, is this a consensus play, Thomas, with the Ravens here? Are you guys going to – I'm hot right now going against the consensus, and I don't like to go against the consensus, but feels like I am here tonight on this one. All right, I'll take the Bucks. You guys are pretty much on the Ravens here. Okay. I'll move on to my Chargers here. It is a consensus play, Ramon. Okay. I'll write it down here. I should have just went with the total and just sent out because I don't know if I like the total that much. I think I'm giving out my best here. Good thing. Maybe this is the right spot for me to challenge you guys again. Morgan and I will be on the Bucks. Robert's on the Bucks a little bit. Getting those points. Still got to cover the number 2, don't forget. Could easily win this game by just a couple of points. Amazing how those games come down to the end, right? Okay, Chargers are playing tonight, so got a little something to look forward to myself with my team playing, but it doesn't feel like a great situation, but still got Coach Harbaugh. I've got Justin Herbert trying to get healthy. Got J.K. Dobbins here. No Gus. We know Gus isn't around, but we got Ulala Vidal in the backfield a little bit. But the Chargers, man, this is all the wide receivers are injured. Every single one of them. Even the ones that are going to play, I think, are still a little bit injured here as well. Guys like Quentin Johnston, who's been pretty terrific. He's kind of been the guy that has been the savior for Justin Herbert a little bit trying to get unrolling here. You do have Palmer. He's probably the only guy that really doesn't have a true injury tag, but he's kind of been banged up too, but not this week. He's not on the report. So uh, Palmer tonight, this could be a big game for him. You got McConkey questionable. You got Johnston questionable. You got a lot of Charger injuries here coming into this one. DJ Shark is out. He's on the Chargers now, by the way. Fihoko, Davis. Chargers don't have any receivers, so it's going to be a problem. They're hopefully going to be able to balance a little bit of run and a little bit of pass tonight against the sad Cardinals. But maybe you look at this as two bad teams. Remember, Chargers are 3-2 here coming in to the game right now. So for the Chargers, they come in, having been outscored in the second half big time in the last 3 games. So that's what they'll have to try to overcome here. They've scored just 3 points in the second half in the last 3 games overall, but Chargers are 7-3-2 as road favorites, and I guess for now they do hold the favorite tag in this game. Chargers also just 3-11 against the spread in closely rated games of 3 points or less, so they are not good against the spread when the game is expected to be close. Arizona's lost 3 of their last 4 games, been having trouble scoring more than just a couple of touchdowns in some of those games right now. The Cardinals come in with a record of 16-12 against the spread their last 28 games, off of a loss, a 7-5 against the spread last 12 as a home dog. I'm still going to kind of list them there, as a home dog here in this one. What do you guys have? Go ahead. I'm on the Chargers. Call it a homer pick if you want, but the reason why I'm still for the Chargers here at this point is because of Jim Harbaugh and just his culture and what he's going to start bringing to the organization here moving forward. I'm pro Jim Harbaugh, if anybody didn't know already. But tell me what you guys like. I like the Chargers running game here for sure. I like J.K. Dobbins. I think maybe the game might hinge on his success. And if he's running freely, getting good yards, 4 yards, 5 yards a carry, this is going to be the Chargers game. I'm pretty sure of that. Also, do like Herbert's matchup. Just wish his receivers were healthy. And then the Chargers, obviously, they might even be a bigger favorite. Here we go. Take a look and see what we got on the Chargers game. Who's first? Oh, I've lost my place here. Riza says maybe got to bet the Chargers here. Can't take the Cardinals here right now. Chargers and under here for Thomas. And maybe Calvin grabbed him at even money here. Look, I'm totally honest about that. The Chargers have big problems. This receiver core is skeleton for sure. And for Justin Herbert, that's kind of what he needs here. Probably is a little bit more firepower, but all right. And Dave says he takes Murray with 100 rushing yards. That'd be a great money winner right there, Dave. To take Murray for 100 yards rushing. Look into that, man. That's got to pay pretty good. I wonder if we can get anything on that here. Thomas says the Cardinals will be healthy in their receivers. Marvin Harrison Jr. has got a pretty good bill of health here coming in. But I think beyond Harrison, it's a tough matchup with Wilson, with Dortch, everybody's favorite Dortch in there. I think that's a tough matchup for them. I really don't see any of the Cardinals that I'm willing to go over with on their propositions today. For the Chargers, J.K. Dobbins, I think Vidal, I think the Chargers, they might want to try the run game mostly here for the most part, because I don't know. I don't have any overs here, I don't think, on the Chargers passing game. Other than maybe Will Dissly, who is actually going to be in at tight end today. Let me take a look at his. He had a shoulder injury coming in. They're going to need him, and if he's healthy, let's see, he had 5 targets last week. That was a season high, I believe, for Dissly with the Chargers. So And they don't even list him, I don't think, as a tight end number one. But Hayden Hurst is also injured. I guess I didn't throw him in there either. But I believe Hayden Hurst might be doubtful in this game. So I like Will Disley as one of my prop players here today. Hayden Hurst is doubtful. So, of course, Joey Bosa, doubtful. I talked about all the receivers, but they do have some other guys as well. Dean Leonard out or doubtful here in this one. For the Cards, let's see here. Harrison, probable with that concussion. Zay Jones, probable. All right, gang. A few more plays from you, and we'll get the hockey game. We'll wrap up the show. Spend an hour with you. Thank you so much for being with me here today. Robert's on the under here in this one. J.K. Dobbins over in receiving. Yeah, maybe he will get some looks out of the backfield. Shannon Moore. Great to have Shannon. I'm so glad. I'm sorry it took so long, Shannon, to I wish there was a way that I could have announced I was coming over here. I only made the decision on the day before the night of the NFL season. I realized things weren't going to be going my way over there, maybe at another location where I was at, and called Mikey Money, said, "Hey, Mikey, I want to come over to Sports Money." And boy, am I glad I'm here. We're having a great time here on our new channel. Londo's on the Chargers. Thomas says Chargers and under, or Tom's Chargers and under. Londo going over. Still, I mean, look, Cardinals don't play much D. We know that. And Herbert says here, let's see here. Jermaine likes Herbert's under passing yards in this one. And Thomas says we have 2 college games tomorrow. We have 2 college games, Thomas. We don't have any college tonight. We do have 2 college tomorrow. I think maybe that's what he's saying there with Sam going up against FIU. I'll tell you this right now. I think I've already bet FIU on tomorrow's game. We see here. Oh, I didn't bet it yet. I was going to probably give out FIU as a premium tomorrow. Let me just give out a premium for tomorrow. Feels like FIU is going to be my pick against Sam Houston State. So trying to find some plays for you. That game's tomorrow, but it's already down to 5.5. Open 7, open 7.5, 7, 8. And the move's been on Florida International. They're only 2-5. Sam's been doing good, but got to be a sharp move, right? You got the 2-5 team at home. They were getting 8 points. Now they're getting 5.5 against a team like Sam. I'm just probably going to side with the sharp action. All right. That's it for this one. You guys are done. It looks like with any picks, I've got the Chargers here as my pick. Okay. One game in the NHL tonight, and the show is over. Lightning and Maple Leafs here in this one. You got Vasilevsky expected to be in goal here against Stolars of the Maple Leafs. Boy, the Maple Leafs right now, I think they're going to – it's the Maple Leafs, right? I want to look at the Maple Leafs right now to win the Stanley Cup. They probably won't, obviously, with the Maple Leafs. We know what this team goes through every year late in the season, second half of the season, postseason, whatever it is. Feels like the Maple Leafs have a pretty good team. What are they about? Are they 12-1? If they're 12-1, maybe we can get involved with them here. Let's see what the futures say right now while we're here on a Monday. Leafs 9-1 at Bovada right now. So maybe the price just isn't good enough, but here I am looking for things to bet on with no action on a Monday, and maybe I want to take the Leafs moving forward to win this whole thing. Anyways, I will take them here at home tonight against the Lightning, $1.50 or so. That's my play. I like Toronto here to win at home in the only game of the day, and I'll take the favorite here against the Lightning with Vasilevsky. See if you guys have any comment here in this one. For Stolars, comes in with a decent 2.39 goals against average so far here this season. Meanwhile, for Vasilevsky, a bit of a slow start here despite the wins. Lightning scoring plenty of goals. Vasilevsky 3-1 so far, but a goals against of 5 so far this season. I'm going to take the Maple Leafs tonight, not as part of the theme of I think they can win it all, but I don't. The thing is, I don't think they can win it all, but I just like the way they're playing, and they look like a better team than they had last year. Calvin's going under here in this one. And Thomas says Tampa's our consensus play there today, or Ravens are our consensus play. I think that's what he meant, right? Thomas says one consensus play, Tampa money line, but I think it's Ravens money line is what he meant there. I'm on Tampa. You guys are on the Ravens. And a couple of us are on the Buccaneers, not the Lightning, but I know we're talking both here. Subhuman, hello. And he says, Lightning too have looked pretty strong, though. Don't forget, coming in. Yeah, no doubt. All right. Lightning puck line here for Jermaine. Maybe a little bit of lightning support here from the chat. Maybe I'm in the minority here in this one. And I think that's it. I think that's it from you guys, and I think that's it from the show. All right. I want to thank everybody for joining me here today on the morning steam, on the morning after a little bit. And I think we kind of covered the WNBA, but it was funny. Cheryl Reeves said after the game, that shit was stolen. That's what she said in the post game. It did kind of feel like that, that was a pretty weak call. And maybe they wanted to get New York to win that title. And, also I wanted to shout out Tommy Edman, the MVP of the National League Championship Series, a young man that I've seen play his high school ball at La Jolla Country Day School. Man, that was great. Tommy Edman, 11 RBIs in the NLCS, and he was named the most valuable player. Really awesome to see that, and really happy. His dad was a terrific high school coach at La Jolla Country Day, and to see him get that trophy last night for the Dodgers, to be the big hero, was traded to the Dodgers. The Cardinals, that was just something they had to do. All the reports were they did not want to give up on Tommy Edman, and believe me, you would not want to give up on this kid either. But the Cardinals had to make a move. Look at the Dodgers acquired, right, in the season in those trades. Yeah, maybe they didn't all come through in the postseason games, but Edman came through big time. So, all right, it'll be a great World Series. The Dodgers are favored. Like I said, we got 4 days to talk about it, but I'm on the Dodgers to win the World Series over the New York Yankees at minus $1.25 or $1.30, whatever you think it is. I'm taking the Dodgers to win the World Series. I don't like the Dodgers. I'm a Padres fan. Everyone knows that the Padres rival is the Dodgers and the Dodgers rival is the Giants. So that's a problem for me. Maybe the rivalry was there a little bit this year, but the Dodgers, they pretty much make fun of the Padres. So I'll take them though. And, I'm not going to be shy about the money anyway. And maybe it'll be a special World Series. Hard to appreciate the show from John. It wasn't much of a show. I didn't even say much. I feel like I was mumble capping here a little bit without any games today. Just trying to find some things to talk about with you guys. Feel honored that 50 of you hung around with me the whole show here. Thomas, thank you. Art Thompson, thank you for everything. Calvin as well. And Jermaine says, the Dodgers never win. They're right. They don't. Dodgers, you're a big joke. But I'm going to take them anyways. Look, I used to be a Dave Roberts fan. We covered Dave. No, Dave's in the chat. We've covered Dave Roberts. I'm so old. I covered Dave Roberts playing quarterback in a football game one time in high school. And you know what? He's been so crummy in his comments I used to like Dave Roberts quite a bit, but he's full of himself now. So, anyways, you better lead these guys to victory because I'm going to bet the Dodgers here. Probably not too big, but it is a series bet, so it's going to be relatively big here moving forward. All right, AOD was here today. Thank you. And thank you, as always, to my Ed McMahon, Thomas Lewis. Maybe Thomas and I can do some Karnak. Uh, Thomas will hand me the envelope and I'll put it on my head and come up with the answer. It'll be a sports question, and we'll have a Karnak segment moving forward. All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. Hey, don't forget, check me out over at the Winnable app. You get all my best plays over there at winnable.com, and it's free. Well, there is some free plays over there. This is a day I guess I could talk about a little bit more extensively here. Hey, I'm one of the few guys on any of these YouTube channel shows that we all watch that's out here touting his plays and charging for them. You'd think there are a few others out there. Maybe I'm the most belligerent about it. But this is how you support me here on the channel. Sports Money Network on YouTube. Give you a ton of free plays day in, day out. But I'm only here for a couple of hours a day. So I want you to get my action throughout the day. And this is how you do it. You can get the free package, set your notifications, and get my plays delivered to your device all day. Usually come out between 2, 3, 5 different releases during the day on the free package and the subscription package over there, where it's just a couple of bucks. You see it right there. It's like $8 a week and $20 a month. So 67 cents a day. And hey, I got to get a new computer. This noisy one over here, I'm trying to get it repaired or get it replaced. So better hit some winners here today, or this week. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Use the promo code STEAM there. And I'm done, you guys. I'd stick around with you guys and talk all day because you guys are the closest thing to friends I've got. But we're going to wrap it up. Thanks, everybody, for joining me here on the show. We'll be back tomorrow with more morning steam. With let's just face it. Today, we're goofing around a little bit. We're having some fun. But tomorrow, 2 in the NBA. I know it's only 2, but we're underway in the NBA. And the crazy hockey card tomorrow. If you haven't seen the crazy hockey card tomorrow, where every game starts, look at these game times: 3:07, 3:37, 3:52, 4:07, 4:22, 4:37, 4:52, 5:07. Now, this is Pacific time. See the Eastern time there. 5:22, 5:37, 5:52, 6:07, 6:22, 6:37, 7:22, 8:07. I think they have a name for this, and I said it last year, and now I've forgotten it. If anybody knows what the name of this thing is, what they do tomorrow with the hockey, the staggered starts, it makes it kind of fun. They probably did it on purpose with the NBA start, but that's way you could conceivably watch the end of a game over. By the time you get around to about 5:15, 5:30, you could just go one final after. Thanks, Mike. Was that what it is? Frozen Frenzy. Yeah, I think I remember that from last year. It does sound like the Frozen 4 too much, though. All right. Thanks to everyone. Phil the Eagle Flyer as well. Jermaine says, why? So that was a Pacific time, Jermaine. So, actually the East Coast starts at 6:00 your time. While you're sitting down for dinner, Jermaine, and getting ready for all the games, we're on we're 3 hours. We're in the middle of the afternoon, late afternoon. So, all right. Thank you, Mike. And I hope I didn't screw up the show too much with nothing to talk about. I feel like I'm just rambling here at this point, just trying to fill an hour of time. Thanks a lot, everybody. We'll get out of here. Appreciate you all. And hey, I got tennis tonight. Sign up over there at Winnable. I'm going to send out some great tennis. Had a great weekend of tennis here. I think anybody who's on the subscription knows we were rocking it there. Kind of took the night off here. It was only like 4 or 5 matches, but they're in full swing tomorrow on the tournaments here in Japan, in Tokyo, in Vienna right now. I'm watching some action as well. So, all right, that's it for the morning steam for the Sports Money Network. I'm Ramon Scott. Have a great day.
Can't escape from the team called the morning steam. It's time to break one for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money.